What's up, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with SPY, Tesla, and the overall markets. I'm going to break down some very important levels to watch for what's happening with the economic data as we just got PCE. But just know that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out my Moomoo link. If you deposit $100, you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. If you deposit $1,000, you're guaranteed 15 in total, not to mention 8.1% APY in uninvested cash. The offer ends very soon, in just about 10 days from now. Anyways, now let's talk about what's happening with the market. So I just wanted to mention that SPY got a big dump right over here. And this is what I was predicting yesterday about how because we got this like attempt to rebound and we just rejected. But despite that happening, we just got the PCE report and the data was quite decent. So let's just see if that helps the market reverse eventually. And you have to also remember there's a lot of option expirations for today because of quadruple witching. So that could also lead to more volatility. So I'll be talking about all of this in just the next couple of minutes. Let's first talk about some data. Just know that today is Friday, December 20th, right? It's going to be a very important close with all the option expirations. We just got some inflationary numbers, and just note all the data was decent. It's a little bit ironic considering the fact that CPI was a little bit hot, but PCE looks decent. So to start things off, we had core PCE month over month at 0.1%. That was below expectations, which is good. And then we had PCE month over month for all items for the month of November at 0.1% below expectations, which is bullish. And then we had the last two, which were all items PCE year over year at 2.4%. That's below expectations. Not bad. And then finally, we had core PCE year over year at 2.8%. That is below expectations, which is bullish as well. So good news so far. Then at 10 o'clock a.m., we have the Michigan Consumer Sentiment Report, which could cause some more volatility. But just know all the inflationary numbers were decent, and that is so far good for the stock market. Now, just know this. There's going to be a lot of manipulation today. It is quadruple witching, which just means we have a bunch of option expirations. We have over 1.5 million calls expiring, and we have over 3.4 plus million of these puts expiring. 580 is max pain. We have a 2.23 puts to call ratio. So just keep that in mind, guys. There are a lot more puts expiring, but despite that, market makers could pull a fast one on either side. So just keep that in mind. There's going to be lots of manipulation. There is something that makes me a little bit more positive, considering the fact that the key inflationary data from the Fed today has shown rates that's lower than expected. So that's a good piece of news, and hopefully that does help the markets to some extent. Now, the market is already dumping. It already dumped quite a bit overnight. So we're going to be watching to see what happens upon open. There are a lot of talks when it comes to politics about a potential government shutdown that could be coming unless we get this funding plan taken care of. We'll see what they end up doing. We're waiting for Congress to negotiate and come up with the agreement. And then there's also news that there's strikes going on involving Amazon. And I went over what happened with Nike and FedEx's earnings yesterday, so I'm not going to talk as much about that for now. And that's pretty much it. But with that being said, that is it for my news update. I think I went over pretty much everything from yesterday and now for today. So what do I see going on here? Well, honestly, guys, I'm hoping for a bounce, but I'm going to give you guys more context about that. I know you can't see it on the daily. The daily was very weak and SPY did come down very close to fill this gap today. I think we almost filled it. So what could be happening are two possibilities. Either SPY could be re-grabbing some liquidity down here on the 570s before it tries to bounce, or it could attempt a bounce right here. It depends on if it could hold 580 or not. If it can't hold 580, I'm going to be in favor of a little bit of a risk. I was potentially retesting 578. But as long as we're above 580, I think there is potential for us to try to fill this gap and start pushing back up to 584. If we break past 582, look for 584 as our targets. And if that breaks, we're looking for the 586s. So just keep that in mind. There isn't potential for a bounce as long as SPY does not lose 580. Why is that? There's a lot of option expirations, a lot of puts expiring, and then the inflationary data was decent. And the market already dumped so much yesterday and then today. So getting a bounce, especially on a Friday, does seem a little bit more plausible. So hoping we do make a move back up to fill this gap. I lean a little bit more in favor of that, but that's going to be dependent on how well SPY holds 580. So just keep that level in mind. For ES, we're on a bit of a downtrend here. We have to try to hold this support around this. It's very close to about the 58.80 area. If we could hold that, I could see an attempt to get back up to about 59.25. If we lose 58.80, we could be dumping back down to like 58.50. As long as we could hold that, we could attempt to get back up here for like 59.25. I hope we do attempt to hold at least 58.80 to 5900, and then we could try to bounce. If not, we're going to be looking for 58.50 as our target. So I hope this is as clear as possible. If we lose support, we dump more. If not, we could attempt to bounce. And I do see potential for an attempt to rebound because of all these option expirations. Nvidia looks to me like it's going to try to push a bit. If we can't hold above 130, we're looking for 127.7 as our target. We're technically on a downtrend, but there might be an attempt to get up to the 20 EMA. We have to break 132 to turn back up. There could be a test of this, and we'll see if it rejects off it or not. But look for a little pop that could be coming, and then we'll have to see what the reaction is. For Tesla or range bound, there's all these headlines screaming there's 700,000 Teslas being recalled, this and that. That is not actually the case. What's happening is it's like there is an issue with the way they're monitoring some tire pressure warnings. So instead, what they're doing is they're doing a software update to fix it. So that's very different from your conventional automotive like recall. So Tesla's range bound, right? We have this 430 resistance to watch for. If we break above that, I could be looking for 435 and 440. And if we end up losing 427, we're looking for support around 419. For the most part, we're just range bound between 419 and 440. That's like the more simple way to look at it. If we lose 419, we could be dumping to the low of the day again to 410, or even below that towards like 402. And then if we break past 440, we're looking for a bounce. We're stuck in the middle, so we'll have to see how it goes, but that's what I'm anticipating for now. For NQ, we've dipped quite a bit. We have to see if 21,000 flat holds. If we lose that, we're going to be dipping down to 20,800. But if we hold this, we could attempt to rebound for 21,300. For the QQQ, we need to try to hold 508. If we lose that, we're looking for 505. And if we hold this, we could attempt to rebound for 515. So give this some time. Let's see if 508 holds. For Apple, we're range bound between 246.5 and 249. Watch and see if we hold this support. We're kind of stuck in the middle, but if we lose this, we could be dipping a lot lower to like 244. So be careful with Apple. I'm seeing a little bit of weakness here, but it is technically range bound. So watch and see which way we break. If 249 breaks, we turn more bullish. We're looking for 250 and 252. If we lose 246.5, we turn more bearish. So watch this range, 246 and 249, whichever way we break determines a much bigger move. The Russell's trying to rebound here as long as you don't lose 217 to 2. If we lose 217, I'm going to be looking for like 215. I'm hoping we base at both of those levels, 215 to 217. We try to balance for 220 plus. If we could hold above 220, we're looking for a move back up to about 223. We'll see if that ends up being the case. For coin, we've dumped quite a bit all the way down towards like 256. I want to see this try to retest 273. If we reclaim this, we're looking for a bounce into the 280s. If we can't hold above 273, we could push and then reject. So be careful, but look for a small push to test that. Amazon's dumped quite a bit because of the strikes, but now it's trying to rebound a bit. We have a gap to fill, so it might attempt to get back up to 221, at least maybe a little bit above that. And we'll see if we make a lower high and reject again, but look for a small push for now, and we'll have to see what the move is after that. For Meta, we're at key support at 586. We got to hold that, and then this could attempt to get back up towards like just under 600. If we lose 586, we could be dumping, but look for a rebound attempt, at least for now, close to about 600. Microsoft, as long as we do not lose 430, we could attempt to fill this gap for like 436. So look for an attempt, and we'll see if we reject afterwards, but look for a small push as we have that gap to fill. Google might attempt to hit 188 to 190, and we'll see if we reject or not. I still see weakness on Google. There's a bit of a downtrend here, especially as we have the big gap to fill. But we need to try to reclaim 188 to turn back up. If not, we're looking for a big rejection back down to 185. So look for an attempt to get to 188 in the morning. We'll see if we break it or not. And otherwise, those are the levels I'm watching for. Thank you all so much for listening, guys. We're holding 580 on SPY quite nicely so far. I really hope that we continue to hold it. That's going to give this the potential to attempt a rebound, and that's going to be very key for how we end up moving. So whether or not that happens is going to be very key for what's going to happen for today. With that being said, I just want to say I really appreciate you guys so much for listening. I'll attempt to be back in just a couple of hours to give you guys another update on this. Do not forget that today is quadruple witching, so we're going to be expecting a lot of manipulation, okay? So get ready for that, guys. Until I see you guys again in just a couple of hours, watch your levels closely, and I wish you all the best. Happy Friday. I'll see you guys very soon, and peace out.